Rome, 897 AD. In a dark hall, a rotting corpse sits on the papal throne. This is Pope Formosus, dead for 9 months, and his trial is about to begin. This was the Cadaver Synod, the most insane trial in the history of the Church. Imagine the scene: a once revered pope exhumed from his grave, his decaying body dressed in sacred vestments. His successor, Pope Stephen VI, stands before him, not in mourning, but in rage, pointing an accusing finger at the lifeless figure. How can you convict a dead man? And what could a corpse possibly have done to deserve such a grotesque spectacle? The formal charges were read aloud: perjury, unchecked ambition, and violating canon law. The specific crime: transferring from his original bishopric in Porto to become the Pope of Rome, an act seen by his enemies as a greedy power grab. To maintain the illusion of a trial, a young trembling deacon was appointed to speak for the corpse, standing beside the silent defendant. He was likely given a script of self-incriminating answers, or his terrified silence was simply taken as an admission of guilt. The trial was a sham, a macabre piece of theater from the very beginning. To understand this madness, we need to look at the political landscape of the time. The papacy in the late 9th century wasn't just a spiritual office, it was a hugely valuable political prize. Rome was caught in a tug-of-war between the ambitious Holy Roman emperors to the north and the powerful local Italian nobles, particularly the Dukes of Spoleto. This is where the real story begins. Pope Formosus had made a powerful enemy. He had infuriated the influential Speletan family by crowning their rival, Arnulf of Carinthia, as Holy Roman Emperor. The Speletans, feeling betrayed and robbed of their claim, were hungry for revenge. Their chance came when they helped engineer the election of their own candidate to the papacy, Stephen VI. His ascension was their victory. The Cadaver Synod was, in essence, a Speletan vendetta. It wasn't about justice. It was a cold, calculated political move. By putting the dead Formosus on trial and annulling his papacy, Stephen VI could retroactively declare everything Formosus had ever done as pope null and void. This meant Arnulf's coronation as emperor was invalid, and every bishop and priest Formosus had appointed would be stripped of their authority. It was a ruthless power play, a political purge disguised as a legal proceeding, and a perfect example of the corruption and violence that defined this dark era known as the Saeculum Obscurum, or the Dark Age of the papacy. Unsurprisingly, the dead pope was found guilty. The verdict was followed by a brutal desecration. Formosus's body was stripped of its papal robes, and the 3 fingers he had used for blessings were hacked off. Then, his mutilated corpse was dragged through the streets and unceremoniously cast into the Tiber River, a symbolic attempt to erase him from history entirely. But this gruesome spectacle backfired spectacularly. The people of Rome were not impressed. They were disgusted. Riots broke out across the city. The citizens saw the trial not as righteous justice, but as a profane act of sacrilege, fueled by petty political hatred. The public outrage was a tidal wave that Stephen couldn't escape. His reign ended as brutally as it had begun. Just months after the trial, a popular uprising led to his removal from power. He was thrown into a dungeon and, that very same year, was strangled to death. A swift and violent reckoning for his heinous act. In the aftermath, later popes moved to undo the damage. The body of Formosus was recovered from the Tiber by fishermen and given a proper reburial in St. Peter's Basilica. Popes Theodore II and John IX officially condemned the Cadaver Synod, rehabilitated Formosus's name, and, crucially, issued a decree forbidding any future trials of the dead. The Cadaver Synod remains one of history's most bizarre and horrifying footnotes. It's a chilling reminder of how low political ambition can drag even the most sacred institutions. It was never a trial of faith, but a raw, ugly display of pure rotten power. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into history's dark corners as fascinating as I did, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. See you then.